There is a strange kind of prison that has no walls, no guards, and no locked doors. You can leave it at any moment, yet millions of people remain inside it for years. The prison is approval. Most people think freedom means becoming independent from other people. They are wrong. The deeper form of freedom begins when you stop needing other people to confirm that you are already enough. And this is where Rochefoucauld becomes uncomfortable. He understood something about human nature that most people would rather hide. We do not always seek approval because we love others. Sometimes we seek it because we cannot tolerate the possibility that we might be wrong about ourselves. Think about the last time you posted something online and checked who liked it. Think about the message you rewrote 3 times because you were afraid of how it would sound. Think about the opinion you softened because someone important might disagree. You may call these ordinary behaviors, but what if they reveal something much deeper? What if the need to be approved is quietly training you to become someone you never intended to be? There is another question hiding underneath it. Why do intelligent people become strangely irrational when they feel judged? Why does rejection hurt more when it comes from someone we secretly want to impress? And why do some people become more powerful the moment they stop trying to appear powerful? Rochefoucauld's insight points toward an answer, but the most disturbing part comes later. Because approval does not merely influence your decisions, it can slowly rewrite your identity. And once you understand how that happens, you may never look at your own behavior the same way again. Number 1. The invisible audience. Imagine walking into a room where nobody is watching you. You speak differently. You sit differently. You make decisions faster. Now imagine the same room filled with people whose opinions matter to you. Suddenly, your mind becomes crowded. Every movement feels visible. Every sentence is edited before it leaves your mouth. Nothing external has changed. Only the imagined judgment has changed. This is one of the strangest facts about approval. Other people do not need to control you directly. Sometimes all they need to do is enter your imagination. Social media has turned this invisible audience into a permanent presence. A person can be sitting alone at midnight, surrounded by nobody, yet mentally performing for thousands of strangers. Companies understand this instinct too. A brand does not merely sell a product. It sells an identity customers can safely display. Even artificial intelligence is entering the same psychological territory. People increasingly ask machines to improve their writing, appearance, ideas, and decisions, partly because they want reassurance that what they produce will be acceptable. The technology changes, but the ancient hunger remains. We want to know that we belong. Yet here is the first twist. The more intensely you monitor how others perceive you, the less accurately you perceive yourself. And that creates the next problem. Number 2. Approval changes the mirror. Most people assume approval gives them confidence. Sometimes it does the opposite. It creates dependence. Imagine a young executive who receives praise after every successful presentation. Eventually, the praise becomes part of the reward. Then, one day, a senior leader criticizes his decision. The criticism is reasonable, but instead of examining the argument, he becomes obsessed with defending his image. He is no longer protecting the company. He is protecting the version of himself that other people admire. This happens in politics constantly. Public figures may begin with a genuine belief, discover that a certain position attracts applause, and gradually become trapped by the audience that rewards them. The same mechanism operates inside friendships, families, and relationships. You become the reliable one, the agreeable one, the intelligent one, the strong one. Then the role becomes a cage. Rochefoucauld's psychology becomes especially relevant here because human beings are remarkably skilled at disguising motives, even from themselves. We tell ourselves that we are being kind when we may be protecting our image as a good person. We call ourselves principled when we may simply fear criticism. We say we want peace when we may be terrified of rejection. And this leads to a disturbing possibility. Perhaps the person you call yourself contains several identities built almost entirely from other people's reactions. But if that is true, what happens when the audience disappears? Number 3. The addiction nobody names. Approval works like a variable reward. Sometimes you receive it, sometimes you do not. That unpredictability makes it powerful. One social media post gets 10 likes, another gets 10,000. Suddenly, the brain wants to know why. You post again, you check again, you compare again. The technology did not invent vanity, it industrialized it. A modern professional can spend an entire career optimizing for invisible applause. Promotions, followers, invitations, titles, recognition. Even intellectual people are vulnerable. They may pretend to seek truth while secretly seeking the identity of being the person who is right. A philosopher may defend an idea because it is true, or because admitting error would damage his reputation. A scientist may resist criticism because his theory has become connected to his identity. A creator may stop experimenting because the audience has rewarded one version of him too many times. Here is the twist. Approval does not always make you weak by making you obedient. Sometimes it makes you weak by making you predictable. Once people learn exactly what you need from them, they know exactly how to influence you. And the person who knows your hunger for approval may not need to command you at all. They only need to withhold the thing you want. Number 4. The experiment. Consider a simple thought experiment. Two people enter the same negotiation. Person A desperately wants to be liked. Person B desperately wants to be respected. At first, person A appears more sophisticated. He smiles more. He explains more. He compromises quickly. He avoids uncomfortable pauses. Person B says less. He allows silence. He can tolerate being misunderstood. Then something strange happens. Person A begins giving away value before the other side even asks for it. Why? Because every moment of tension feels like rejection. Person B can remain still because rejection does not threaten his identity. This is where the psychology becomes practical without becoming manipulative. Freedom is not the ability to make everyone approve of you. It is the ability to remain psychologically intact when someone does not. Imagine an employee who finally tells a manager, "I disagree." Imagine a son who stops performing the role his family assigned him. Imagine a creator who publishes something unpopular because he believes it is worth saying. The external action may be small. Internally, however, something enormous has happened. The invisible audience has lost authority. And once that happens, a much more dangerous question appears. If you no longer live for approval, what exactly will you live for? Number 5. The identity trap. Most people do not fear rejection itself. They fear what rejection seems to prove. If someone rejects your idea, you may hear, "Your idea is bad." But deeper inside, the mind can translate that into, "You are not intelligent." If someone leaves a relationship, the mind may translate it into, "You are not lovable." If a company rejects your application, the mind whispers, "You are not valuable." That translation is where suffering multiplies. The event is one thing. The identity attached to it is another. Consider modern dating. A person sends a message and receives no reply. Within minutes, the mind constructs a story. Maybe I said the wrong thing. Maybe they found someone better. Maybe I am boring. The phone remains silent, but the imagination becomes loud. The same pattern appears in business. A startup fails, and the founder may interpret the failure as information about the product, or as a verdict on himself. The first interpretation creates learning. The second creates shame. Here is the pattern. Interrupt. Imagine that tomorrow, every follower, title, compliment, and public achievement attached to your name disappears. No announcement. No explanation. Just silence. What remains when nobody is watching? That question sounds philosophical. It is actually diagnostic, because the answer reveals which parts of your identity belong to you and which parts were rented from the crowd.